Brilliance Audio.
A Gracious Neighbor by Cander. Performed by Karissa Vacker. Gracious. Adjective. 1. Courteous, kind, and pleasant. 2. Elegant and tasteful, especially as exhibiting wealth or high social status. 3. Condescendingly courteous, especially to inferiors. 4. Merciful, disposed to forgive offenses and impart unmerited blessings. Prologue. We never imagined there would be a murder. We'd never even suspected. But why would we? We live so close to each other, and we live so far apart, going through different kinds of the very same things. We worked so hard to hide our shame, our secrets, and our insecurities. We emulated other women to try to fit in, to be part of a community, only to discover that even with our manicured lawns and beautiful houses and high expectations, we were still lonely. We could still hurt and be hurt by each other. Would things have turned out differently if we'd behaved better? We know this now. If we could go back, we'd have looked more carefully. We'd have tried harder. We wouldn't have been so quick to judge. 1. Martha Hale thought the first Monday in February was early to prune the scraggly crepe myrtles in her yard, but as she drove home after dropping her son off at middle school that morning, she noted that most of the others throughout her tidy neighborhood had been topped already. Several years before, someone had delivered full-color flyers to homeowners demanding they stop crepe murder, extolling the virtues of the tree's natural growth habits and pointing out that the ugly, swollen knobs at the unnecessary cut sites were like arthritic knuckles they wouldn't otherwise develop. But that campaign went largely ignored. Residents of West University Place, Texas, liked their gardens neat. The shaped hedges and trimmed trees symbolized their owners' expectations of cultivated, undiminished beauty. Frankly, Martha wouldn't have minded leaving hers alone, except perhaps a little deadheading later in the season to coax a second round of blossoms. But she would do so only as long as everyone else did, too. Her family stood out too much as it was. They were among the few who didn't retain a professional lawn crew to maintain their yard, and since her husband, Lewis, suffered from chronic back pain, due, she thought, to his posture and increasing belly size, and not to his brief experimentation with weightlifting, as he claimed, the gardening duties typically fell to her. But she would much rather spend a few sweaty hours in the garden, even with an unwieldy electric chainsaw, than have her neighbors think them sloppy. Their circa 1940 bungalow might be small, but nobody could have accused her of not keeping it clean and trim. She pulled her minivan into the driveway and examined the trees for mourning dove nests. The doves had been cooing and twitter-pating lately, and just the other day Martha found a dropped egg on the sidewalk beneath a live oak across the street. Satisfied that she wouldn't inadvertently also hurt an innocent bird as she lopped the limbs off her trees, she went inside to change out of the pajamas she'd driven Harry to school in again. Nearly every day she vowed hopelessly to start getting up early enough to put on real clothes before it was time to leave, and hoped this wouldn't be the day her car broke down. She put on her comfortable overalls and a sun hat to protect her fair complexion, even though the day was overcast and cool, and went to the garage to gather the necessary tools. By the time she trudged out to the front yard, someone, the realtor presumably, had added a bright red sold plaque to the for sale sign in front of the enormous new house next door. Martha felt a clutch of nervous excitement and squeezed her garden shears as though in a quick embrace. Ever since her dour old neighbors were moved into an assisted living facility the year before and their lot was sold to a custom home builder, Martha had been thrilled by the possibility of new friendship with whoever would someday move in. Would it be a young family with children close in age to her 14-year-old son? Maybe empty nesters who wanted an upgraded house with room enough for their visiting grand...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?